we doing? Don't mind me, just doing a quick little pre-stream warm-up. And of course, as soon... And we're back. Whew. As soon as Vinny Batista, how you doing? As soon as the stream started, the technical difficulties ensued. Hamza, appreciate you, my friend. Mr. Vince Paro, how you doing? Thun Guns Gamer, coffee time, you and me both. Sky Kid, how you doing? Prashan, welcome back, my friend. I love Legos 2000, good evening. Daruko, what's going on? Scavenger, welcome. I love Legos from sunny Florida. Jealous. Rock Sandwich Art, thank you so much. Iris Muddy, welcome. Adiola, great to have you. I can't remember if you've mentioned this before. You're going to be back at the old light box this year? Nane, how you doing? So yeah, don't mind me. Waffles, how you doing? Ashish Laguri, hello. Just doing some quick pre-stream warm-ups. I've got a plan for this stream. It's got to be a tight one. It's got to be a tight... What are we looking at? It's got to be a tight 2 hours, okay? Ah, nice one, Adiola. I'm starting to get all my stuff together, get all prepared, book the flights. It's all happening. I cannot wait to get back to California. All right. So I'm just gonna keep going with this. I just wanted to get the hand and the eye going, but I've got a plan. What I was thinking for this stream, okay, if it's all right with you. Also, how's the audio? Do let me know. I do not want to be undervolumed, more importantly, overvolumed. But this stream, I want to play around with this lighting setup. All right, so I'd like to understand how this works, and then I want to put a dinosaur head looping underneath and poking out, right? But also match the lighting. So we see a bit of his head poke out in the sunlight. Right, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge today. I reckon that'll be fun. I'm gonna think it's fun. Hopefully you think it's fun. The link that I've pinned on YouTube chat is the one to check out if you do want to get that same reference. No, I've been wanting to catch up on your live vids. I'm from Turkey, so it's 4 a.m., but I made it. Oh my goodness, they're recorded. Get back to sleep. Yeah, you too, Adiola. Yeah, no, it was a bloody whirlwind. I'll tell you what, audio is good. Appreciate you, Alfie. Hope you are doing well. Good morning, gamer. Hope your coffee's brewed to perfection. All right, but first, I just want to get something going. So let us find our cursor. There we go. So this one, I just found this guy. Right, I'm going to throw him in stream figure reference, and I'll chuck the link in there as well. Give me S. Where's stream figure reference? Ah, here we go. All right, found this fella. Copy. I'll just copy the pin, shouldn't I? 2 a.m. in Nigeria. You gotta get some sleep, guys. Far out. Artes V. Suarez, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay. Pop him in the old pure ref. So hopefully you guys will be able to see. Instagram, if you want the better experience that isn't so squished, come on down to YouTube if you like. Okay. Let us begin, shall we? Also, I'll mention up front, we were all booked up for the live workshop, except had some European time differences, so there is one more spot available. If you do want to, in the workshop, so everything, the one-on-ones, the workshop seat, the middle tier, there's only one available if you do want to hop in there. I think I'm got from feedback, I'm going to do a European time zone one as well. But yeah, if that is something that you would like to check out, live workshop, that workshop seat gets you 5 weeks live. It also gets you critiques. It also gets you assignments. It also gets you early access and lifetime access to my currently work in progress on demand course all about value and light. Plugs over. Let's get back to gesture, shall we? Sergey, how you doing? I'm from Mexico on a Sunday. Time travel's a weird thing, eh? It's Monday over here. Now, I was trying to box this fella in to be that's being the feet. Turns out it's not going to be the feet unless he's going to have tiny little feet. So we just got to blast past that. The weight is on this foot. Bam. But yeah, I'm feeling some, doing some color. Really focusing on color and color relationships today, which is kind of juxtaposed, fancy word, with what we're doing right now. That's okay. That's fine. But yeah, I've started to get ready for the trip. The bloody long flight. I need to get some great sleeping tablets for my trip to Lightbox. It's coming up quick, I tell you what. Before you know it, we're going to be on the plane, trying to get some sleep. Probably not going to be able to sleep, if I'm honest. Although I did sleep so well on the way back last time. It was kind of crazy. I woke up. I maybe had like a 4-hour flight that I was awake for, and the rest of like the 17 hours, I was just out of it. I've also, touch wood, got to try and not get a cold. So I'm going to try my best, because I got a little bit of a cold last time. So what I will mention as well, I'm going to be sharing a booth with Mr. Rembert Montold. Going to be chilling out with that fella. He's going to have some cool stuff going on. We're going 50-50 side by side on the booth, which will be sick. Right, this is more on the realistic side, albeit a little bit more simplified, right? Game, I hope you have fun at Lightbox. I really hope to be able to go someday. You really should, honestly. Like, I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not trying to like sell tickets or whatever, but it's freaking awesome. Like, Bo, bro, you need to relax. Every stream, how late am I? You're not late at all. You're bang on time. Don't even worry about it. Right, so I'm really trying to find the landmarks here. Gia, how you doing? Hey Ben, it's been a minute since I stopped by. How you been? Artistic Spartan, how you doing, my friend? Been doing well. Hope you've been well. Oh my god, I need to keep this centered for Instagram. My deepest apologies. 324 in ZA. Benele. How you doing? Now, ZA. And that flag. I'm an uncultured man. I'm going to guess Zimbabwe? Zambia? No. ZA. That's the only Z. It still boggles my mind. It's like the bloody United Nations in here. I should go to school right now. You should, Gia, you should. You really should. All right, so here I'm trying to find that balance. This is why I like this pose, because the spine is telling me a lot about how the weight is shifting. It's kind of like boom, boom. Got a nice little simple creases here. I do like to dip into the realm of realism every now and then, you know? Or more realistic-ish kind of vibes. It's 5 a.m. Far out. What time's school start? Sam, what's going on, dude? I had a random dream last night that we were hanging out at IKEA. I do love a good IKEA sesh. It's a dangerous place for my wallet, though. I tell you what. Dangerous place for my wallet. Oh, also as well. I don't know why the IKEA made me think of it. Made my first plain Jane of the year, the special edition, painted. Hadn't picked up the airbrush in probably a good 10 months. All the paints, thankfully, were still viable. I just had to remember the order of things. And then you had, then there's some like things to remember with like the lacquer-based paints versus the acrylics, what mixes well with what, you know. You got the macaroni with the chicken strips. Josh Bink, I'm jealous, my friend. You enjoy them. Phil, how you doing? I see you in there. So that is the reason why this is going to be a tight 2 hours. We can't get into Noodletown today. Reason being, I got to drop off those plain Janes because they're, yeah, I think it's like a gallery kind of deal here locally, and I was asked to make a couple of Janes for that one, so that should be fun. Now the head angle is all kinds of off right now, so let's think this through. Okay, 20 minutes in, not bad. Not gonna lie, haven't been the best. I'm sorry to hear it, Artistic. Hopefully that turns around soon. "20 minutes in, not bad. Spent the day grabbing swimming otters, dragon claws, and bat wings." I'm sorry, I've got no idea what you're talking about, Brumbrew. Not a clue. Can you elaborate? Sam, what's going on? I'm doing well. How you doing? We're just trying to understand this tilt of the head, because this is tricky, right? Because it would be easy. It would be easier. Let's, for reference, okay, I thought you had some weird shit going on where you're at. You've got otters. I thought dragon claws might have been a plant of some sort. And bat wing, maybe bat, because we've got kangaroo paw over here. That's what my first thought was. There's like a plant called kangaroo paw. Why you'd be picking them, I don't know, but just for funsies, I guess. So it would be easy just to whip the ear in like this, right? Because it makes sense, yeah? But that's like as if we're looking like directly on with the side profile. Right, we love a good side profile here, but we've got to think about if we're looking at the reference and we're trying to really understand it, there's a little bit of a tilt again. If we think about this as a circle versus a cylinder going back in space, right? Or like coins until we get to the actual, imagine, yeah, that's a good analogy, a coin, right? We're kind of tilting that. That's a good indication for us with the ear. Even if we're doing it a little bit more loose, a little bit more stylized, then we've got to figure out the eye socket here. My next YouTube video is going to go all over this sort of stuff. Right, I've started to whip open the old editing software, the good old DaVinci Resolve. And just that little indication of the eye. Now that looks jank as frick. What have we done wrong here? Iteration, my friends. This is what this is about. So we've got the eye socket a little bit deeper. All right, so there's going to be some overlap here where the nose pokes through. If we were just to simplify this, overlapping lines, cheekbone, something like that. Right, if we were just to do it like super simplified, we could go and measure it all out if we want to, but we're not going to, right? Can you say what's your brush? It's the flat flowy. All right, I'm actually in the middle of making it work for Procreate as well, and I'll release it. I don't know if I said hello, Super. I might have, I might not have. I'm in the... Oh, no audio? Oh, no, it's back. Okay, might have been an Instagram issue. I was in the whirlwind of gesture and shape. I can't remember, but hello, Super, our resident blender guru. The iguanas are massive here. Iguanas. Gaspar Films, how you doing? Or Jasper Films, my apologies if I butchered that. Chris, what's going on? Time study or no? Nah. Nah, just wanted to loosen up. You know, just get this flowing. The hand and eye coordinations. You wouldn't just start off with a sprint in the morning. I mean, you could, but you're going to pull a hammy probably. I think his eye socket top edge is more parallel. You're probably right. I'm really not too concerned about it. This is a gesture warm up. It's not being about, because we could zoom right the way in. If we were trying to get like likeness, that's when we would go, okay, that eye is way further up here. All right, little eyelash and like the 6 pixels that we can see. Not the best reference for this kind of work, but we'll actually see a little bit underneath the nose there and blah, blah, blah. So there would be all sorts of little bits and bobs. We're not looking for accuracy here. We're just warming up, getting our... But good observation nonetheless, though. Ryan, I see you, my friend. How you doing? How those social posts going? Everyone should go check out RMC Mold and Cast. Let me crack open. This is, speaking of plain Janes, let's RMC Ryan M. Campbell. A bloody legend, right? Super, super knowledgeable. If you want to understand more about the sort of molding and casting stuff, 1000%. I mean, look at this. Like, his molds are like a work of art in themselves. Like, I love them. And if you want minimal parting lines, or like cast, whatever you call them, where you can see the connections. Oof. Go check out that guy. Good dude as well. Nice little positive there. I've got some ideas for some 3D model stuff as well that I want to mold and cast, which is going to be handy. I've got to figure out how that fits into the content side of things, but I think I can make it work. I'm going to try. I want to be like a mix mash, a mishmash of a few different creators that I like. I want to be like a hybrid between like Adam Savage, where he just does like eclectic shit everywhere, and it's just interesting. I want to do like the Proco stuff, right? Look up to that fella. I also want to like Evan and Caitlin-esque kind of things. I also want to do like all sorts of stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling. We're warmed up. Let's get to the main course, shall we? We've got to do a tight 2 hours. Nah, of course, dude. No, I hope you've been well, man. Kaneki, how you doing? The anatomy of bat wings is so weirdly unsettling. Nature is freaky. The wrists and palm bones are all the same. Essentially, they are. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. All right, let's have a... Where is my... Okay. This is the meat of the stream. This caught my eye. It's going to be tricky. Okay, now we're a little bit warmed up with something completely different than what we're going to be doing, but that's fine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Get out of here. Don't want to crop that. Okay. So I'm going to scooch everything down because I've got my keyboard. Nane, do you have a roadmap of the steps you follow while sketching? Did you see the shapes, boxes, whatever, and then connecting them? The roadmap changes all the time depending on the reference. So there's no like set one way of doing things every single time. That could be a positive. It could be a negative. What's new with the world of Ben Edlin? I feel like I've been away for a few streams. Just working away, man. Working away, getting prepared for the first session of the workshop coming this Saturday, the 9th of August. And if I'm honest, I'm quite nervous because it's the first one I'm doing by myself, like not connected to any other companies. Just I'm running this thing, and I just want it to be really, really good, you know. So I'm actually a little bit nervous. But yeah, that's been the main thing. Super. But yeah, then looking at flights to heading over to the US, getting all that sorted. All right. So this is an interesting one, right? There's really clear delineations between light and shadow. Okay. You do have the experience from those other workshops though, right? Yeah, I do. I'm just very nervous because I just really want to I just want to give as much as I just really hope people enjoy it. That's the main thing. And they get a ton out of it. It's good. I think it's good to be a little bit nervous, you know? Great abstract shapes in the reference. You're bloody right, Josh. That's why I like it. So let's get started and I'll continue to ramble as we go. Do we do color? Yeah, let's do color. I feel like doing some color. That's going to be the most fun, I think. I've been diving deep into Nomad Sculpt. Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm loving the 3D side. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the what, I don't know what you'd even call it. The 2D 3D land. Melding the two. A kit batch, as the diorama makers would say, a hodge lodge, a medley of you will of a creator. Yeah, podge, not hodgepodge. That's the one. A mishmash, a hodgepodge. Evan and Caitlin saved my wallet from buying the equipment to do resin projects. You and me both. Except for I've bought all the equipment already to do the plain chains. So I could do quite a lot of the stuff that they do. Bullwinkle, bringing back the name. That's for you guys to sort out. This is not a not a me thing. All right, let's get the basic shape. So what am I seeing here? I'm seeing shape. Well, I'm seeing shape here. All right, shape here. And shape here, so we can start off. And what's that? Like we're gonna negative shape it up a little bit, I think. I'm not gonna sketch it. I'm going to blue there, right? Then if I'm honest, I really wanna. I'm really not super happy with my work as of late. One, because I haven't been doing much, so there's that. But two, I really want to push myself. I feel like I've been in comfort zone land for quite a while. Do you have the experience from the yes I do. I've already answered that. How about the website? How's that going? Yeah, going good, man. Going good. So that's also another thing, which is going to be great from the workshop side of things. Everyone that's joined the workshop in the participation levels, they get early access to it, so they can test it all out, make sure it's all working. Hello, where did that go? I wasn't on Phil. All right, so even just what we've got here, you can start to see something happening. There's a little bit of juice. There's a little bit of, okay, underpass of some sort, you know? Then, what's next? So I guess this is like, if I'm honest, like, you guys have probably heard about the whole like 2 value, 3 value studies and that kind of thing. It never really clicked with me. Doing that, I should probably do a lot more, but I wanted, at least for how my brain works, I wanted more context. Like, why is the light behaving? So then I can make those decisions a little bit better based on what's actually happening. And I'm not just like, also I've been thinking about that a lot for the workshop, but coffee indigestion. All right, so now I'd like to like stylize and what we did say as well, what I did mention before, we are going to have a dinosaur, a little brontosaurus poking his head out, right? So that we will see probably the light crossing over him. Okay, but first let's get the scene together and then we can start playing, right? Rudina, how you doing? Fourth, welcome back. So we'll just keep that in mind. Maybe we do a quick sketch. I did lie. I lied. I might do a quick sketch just of the car, just to give me a little bit of something to work with. Nothing crazy. Do we even, all right, how would we stylize this car? We could go one of two ways. We could just flatten it right the way out and just go like ultra flat, which is kind of one way of doing it. which I don't hate. Also, turns out I remind people of Scout from Team Fortress 2. The amount of comments on that, on my posts, have been a lot more as of late. Yeah. Yeah, I see it as well. All right, so let's, how do we wonkify this a little bit? Wonkify. So this gives us something to work within. So then the tires would be here, here. That's going back in perspective. Right. Let us continue. Maroon. Let's do it more purpley. I'm just going to throw in the big shapes of the body of the car, let's say. This gives me a little bit of, not entirely from the color scheme or anything, but just this is what I'm feeling with it, is Grand Theft Auto, what's the one before the last one? The one where he's in New York. Katja, how you doing? Oh, you're crazy, 4 a.m. Josh, it does feel a little bit like a Breaking Bad scene. What time does the live start in your time usually? Thank you. 10:45. Australian Central Standard Time. Grand Theft Auto 4, yep. When I first saw, I don't know if this makes any sense to anyone, but when I first saw the like the underpass with the lighting, that like blew my mind. I remember it like it was yesterday. Okay. So let's work within this shape and then we can sort of carve it out a little bit more. So what have we got? We got the bumper. We're not going to worry about the light just yet. I'm just getting the local colors, popping them in. We can really push the... This like gives me like VizDev vibes. Those like Pixar-esque kind of scenes really just, I don't know, I just enjoy them. I really like the look of them. I think we could even come in like, yeah, this is reflected light here, but I think it does help sit it in the scene a little bit. No-tan studies always seemed weird to me. The straight black and white doing negative shape studies is brand new for me. Are you ever flipping your canvas into grayscale for practice like this? Sometimes. Like, sometimes I will. Sometimes I'll just let it ride and just see how we go, you know? It really depends what it's for. Excuse me. What's happening here? There we go. Yeah, I remember the graphics of that game blowing my mind too. Also the physics, seeing people stumble and fall realistically. I remember I was just like nudge the car slightly into the barrier to see the car destruction and like how many levels of destruction. I would like boop, just touch it and there's like scratches and then I'd do it more and do it more. Oh, it was so good. My girlfriend says you are painting with the colors you wear. Oh, I am a little bit, aren't I? 1000%. Very good observation. Rodinia, great composition. Yeah, the photo is fantastic. No-tan studies are black and white because it helps you study value in composition. Yeah, exactly. It's like a different study tool. So there's no such like, a value study is like the same as saying, what analogy am I going to use here that makes any sense? It's almost the same as saying just like a paint study or like a drawing study. It's like, what is it for? You know, like Notan then just makes it more specific as to what the goal is. If that makes any sense whatsoever. All right, so what I'm doing here, we've got to keep in mind that this is in shadow. So we could, do we? I think we do a cheeky little multiply layer just to give us some of those darker tones, keeping in mind that some of this car, like a very little bit of the car, is going to be in light. I mean, we could actually make it more in light. Whoa, way too dark. All right, and I would like to bump up the saturation and maybe skew it a little cooler, which could be nice as well. Yeah, the car destruction was good, right? Yeah, the kids these days, they don't know how good they got it. T2 Leo Art, welcome. Great to have you. Lana, welcome back. How'd you find Fantastic Four? What do you reckon? I haven't been to the movies in yonks. All right, so we've got an idea of the car here. I think I could also just, let's just whip in the tires for the moment. Just so we got something there. And that's actually probably going to just like fade into the background because we haven't done any of this color work in the background just yet. So let's see what we've got going here. We're just going to layer it up. So we've got this nice little perspective line to help us out. The perspective is all out of whack here, so that's fine, we can fix that. So Notans are more for comp than value, color, and lighting. Well, you could like take it through that process, right, as well. So you could do like composition, Notan, which is just like the one or like the two values, the black and the white, and then you can make decisions of, okay, what's the secondary values. And then the one thing that confused the frick out of me is like, what's a midtone? I heard midtone so much. I was like, what the shit is a midtone? Because some people call it half tones, some people call it midtones. Whoa. I don't know if that was just me that got confused with whatever midtones were, but they did confuse me for a good long while. Nice. I've been in a car drawing quest for a bit. Beautiful. I love them. There's going to be some nice little bits of like reflected light up on the concrete as well. We can play around with some texture, which will be good. It's a fun one. 2 thumbs up from me. Good to know. To be honest, the car destruction was better than in 4 than it was for... I agree. I like the realism. I know that everyone had an issue with the car handling in 4 versus 5. I like the car handling in 4. It was more realistic. They gave me a little Fantastic Four one-page comic because I saw it at the Disney theater. Oh, nice one. Hey, Ben, have you seen the new Spider-Man suit for the next film? Looks a lot more like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield suits. Oh, I like that. Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man. So let's get this ground plane darkening up a little bit. I'm going to play with the value, right? Because I can see, what do we notice here? It's blue skies, right? I mean, we could make this green if we want to. Colors are very secondary here, but it is nice to just punch the saturation up. Katya, yeah, how about hue, tone, saturation when you start out from scratch as a self-taught person? We got to cover that. Particularly hues as they relate to values, and hopefully that like unlocks some stuff. They are a bit difficult to draw because of the perspective. They are. But it gives you something to lock onto that so at least for me, when I'm doing studies, I'm not trying to how would you say it? I'm not trying to juggle likeness and proportion and all that kind of stuff. They are just such a good tool. And you can make them look cool as well. I'm still dying with midtones. It feels like I'm getting nothing but mud in my color lately. I think that could be a value issue. The midtones, you got to be subtle. Mind you, that's very dependent on what you're drawing, right? Very, very dependent. But what I've found is being as subtle. You've almost got to like dial up the sensitivity of the relationships in the midtones. Artistic couldn't stand the car handling in GTA 4. I like that. I liked how it like rocked a little, because that's how a real car would work. It's cool. Lana, I told ya, I'm not always full of shit. You do a little bit, and then it keeps the streak going. No, that's wicked to hear. Watching a lot of videos about color theory helped me working with them. Yeah. Mind you, if I'm honest, I didn't study a whole, like, I don't want to say never. I don't really think too much. It could be to a detriment, mind you, but again, it depends on what I'm working on. But like analogous color schemes and all these color theory things are not the first thing I'm thinking about necessarily when it comes to. Now I'm gonna try something here with gradients. All right, so I want to figure out a little bit of that grey here, that nice little bit of grey, and then whoa, both of those have to be knocked right the way down. So let's get you into the realm of reality there with that grey, and then let's come through and knock that value right the way down. Let's see how that goes. Better. See how they, like, it might become apparent now because you can kind of see the gradient because I put it there. Right? But that's what I'm seeing. The subtle gradients in things. I appreciate your Radina. Ben, quick question. Did you go to art school? Oh my God, I've done it again. I put my coffee cup on gum. For me, Gurney's book blew my mind. Yeah. Gurney's book is fantastic. It was challenging, but once you got the hang of driving, it was very rewarding. Exactly. It was less like arcadey. Ah, sorry, Instagram. Yeah, I don't know why it's lagging. I do not have the answers there for you. My apologies. So let's do a little bit of that gradient again. All right, a little bit of a cheat for, well, not a cheat. No one tells you any of this is cheating. Tell them to come talk to me. And then they'll message me. And then I won't reply. Alright. Here, just getting the poles. We can always refine this later. That's fine. We're just getting stuff. So even we zoom out, it's looking like a 3D thing. Right? Silver Marie. I mean, as long as the values vibe, you can make any color scheme work. True. Fourth, Ben, quick question. Did you go to art school? No, I did industrial design for like a year. And then when the drawing class finished up, that's when I finished up. So no, I didn't go to like a traditional art school. There are definitely pros and cons to it. It would have been like, I'd imagine, I quite enjoyed the going to uni for industrial design. The people were really cool, you know, good group of people. But yeah, I'd imagine a lot of it is just like the environment, and also something that the people outside of the US. I was chatting to a mate of mine. Something that people outside of the US don't realize is that art school could be it's something to consider when trying to get visas and things like that for people outside of the US, because a lot of the jobs are in the US. So there's that aspect to it as well. A lot of the don't go to art school stuff comes a lot of the times, at least the ones that I've seen, they're not wrong, they're not right. I don't know. I don't have experience there, but they come from the vantage point of US students. But there is that, I guess, benefit of visa stuff as well. Apparently it's easier to get a visa when you have a degree. I don't know. Value, hue, saturation loses me always. All right, I'll give you a little hint here without going too far afield. Purples and blues, they have the biggest opportunity to go darker in value while keeping their saturation, their vibrancy, or their chroma. Right? Versus, say, like a yellow. All right? You got me on a tangent because I love this shit, right? So let's say we go full brightness and full saturation. We've got red, we got blue, and we got yellow, right? If you were just looking at the brightness here, you'd be like, all right, all 100%, 100%, 100% brightness. Look at this. Their highest saturation point are all different values. And this is why values are so freaking important, and why you can get different effects with different hues. Candice, I see you. How you doing? All right, let's get let's get cranking with some of these nice little accoutrements. A little bit of the details. Maybe even a sneaky bit of the hills in the background. That's one thing that was amazing in like Pasadena. Also, I don't know where my... Oh, I'm on a... Whoa. Okay, we're back. Yeah, yep, nope, yep, okay. Let's throw a little bit of these out, but we don't want to make these so... Oh, yeah. So, in your face, right? We kind of want to just throw them in. Yeah, it's pink and purple at the moment. Doesn't matter. That's fine. Want to make them go off into the background. So we might lighten them up a tad. But this is the thing. We might not actually lighten them up. We might darken them to reduce that contrast and reduce the saturation of them. Then we can come in here and then we can sort of add some of the indications of the mountainous shadowy bits. Right, I don't want to spend too long on this, but because it's not the focal point, but just something in the background would be nice. Katya, I did 2 years at art school when I was 8. Left me with nothing but trauma. I think post-Soviet art school had one teacher screaming at us non-stop and another showing up drunk all the time. Holy shit. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I remember like high school art class, there was one wicked teacher, right? One really, really cool teacher. Really supportive. Really cool. And there was one that was just a grumpy bastard. As I get older, I could empathize with that. You know, he might have had stuff going on in his personal life, but it definitely didn't make me want to like encourage me so much. You know, it wasn't a fun thing when that other teacher was teaching the class. There was no like enthusiasm, which I mean, maybe it's just you get a little bit jaded when you teach in high school art, and then 2/3 of the kids just aren't paying attention. They're being little dickheads and blah 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 blah. But no, I do remember it wasn't the most fun. But I would skip. I was like the outlier in that, where I would like skip other classes to go. And I do not recommend this, but I would skip other classes and go hang out in the art class until I got told off for doing that. Curious about your workflow. Do you prefer the lasso tool for defining hard edges? Yes. And shape design? Yes. Or do you switch to brush for softer rendering? Wondering how you balance both approaches. The tool is neither here nor there for me. This lasso tool is a speed thing, right? I could just as easily grab this really like hard edge brush and do the same thing, which I might actually do for a bit of difference, you know. A bit of texture maybe. Break up the monotony to, yeah, merge it all. Merge it all. Right, this, I think we could redo that. So the tool is, again, it's just a tool, which is why a lot of questions about brushes and that kind of stuff. I don't use any super fancy brushes, probably to my detriment maybe, but I would prefer to know the principles as to why I'm using the certain tool rather than being like, oh, I need this particular brush to get this very specific effect. Whereas in reality, I know that I could get most of the effects I want from the very, very, very simple brushes. That gives me a lot of freedom, you know. My favorite greens come from dark yellow. Agreed, me too. Yeah, it's hard to be motivated to learn when the teacher doesn't care, yeah. I don't even know how I passed high school, if I'm honest. I still have those, I don't know if you guys have this, but like I have recurring dreams where I'm like, oh my God, I've got like an English assignment that I haven't finished and it's due today. I'm doing multiple courses at the same time now with your workshop starting soon. Fantastic. But then I'll join the local figure drawing class, will be my first live class. Those are fantastic. I highly recommend getting into it if for those that have that opportunity in your local area. Get to a figure drawing class. There is something that you can't quite capture from photos that you can get in person. A lot of things can start to click with like thinking in 3D and that kind of stuff. So that's exciting. I've got to sign up to a couple of figure drawing classes soon. All right, see how we're like building this up ever so slowly, but it's slowly come together. You can see how we could just keep going and going and going, which is the fun part. I see a purple in here, a little bit too light. J Artists had an art professor proclaim comic art isn't art. Well, they can suck it. I had to wait to get back at him my senior year when he brought up Lichtenstein and proclaimed, "You said that's not art." Didn't know what. Oh, fantastic. I have Chinese exam nightmares from uni that I had to redo them. It's the worst, right? Because you like feel that feeling of like, oh shit. Nothing worse than being like, oh, there was an exam that I didn't do, or like an assignment that I didn't do, and it's due today. Speaking of high school art class, did you do sculpture with that brown clay that came in a massive slab? If so, do you have any idea where to get that stuff? Since you sculpt, I figured you mean, oh, what is it? I'm not sure what that kind of clay is called, but it's like where it dries hard. I don't know. I would recommend, like, I didn't really get into sculpture when I was in high school. I think we did it briefly and it was just like, you know, didn't really grab me. Now check this out. Love me a bit of reflection on the glass. Blue reflection. And now we have shiny-ish, or the start of shiny glass in context of the car. Beautiful. Nicholas Panchana, welcome, first timer. Zach A, what's going on? Could I ask you a question? Of course you can. Whether I answer it or not, that's another question. How do you recommend reinterpreting anime characters into your cartoon style without losing their essences? Both are already stylized. That's a big question. That is a very, very, very tricky question without a solid context, you know. My best advice there would be to iterate and have some style reference open while you're trying to figure it out. So don't get stuck on making the first go around like very precious. Just test some things out. Maybe you try the face in a particular style, then you try and move it a little bit more to anime, change the nose a little bit, tweak the eyes, the pose, that kind of stuff. Do a bunch of iterations. That's what I would recommend. Christian, what's going on, dude? I always dreamed that there was a college class I forgot about and never went to it. But the test is today. Okay, good. It's not just me. Catch you later, Super. You have a good one. Also, speaking of, like Blender and stuff, has anyone played around with the brush stuff that they've made recently? I don't know if that is going to make any sense to anyone. All right, I'm going to scooch this down so I can see everything. Nah, that looks messy. Just because I got my keyboard literally like smack bang where we're keyboard behind today. We might even use the cheeky lasso tool. Now let's try something here. Multiply. Probably way too dark, but what we can do is we can then just knock the opacity back a little bit. I'd like to add some texture in the foreground as well. It's too flat. But mind you, we could keep going and going and going with this and make it look really, really cool. Radina, just want to say I love the whole vibe of the stream, your art, the way you think through it, and how you actually talk to everyone feels really... appreciate it, Radina. This wouldn't be fun if I couldn't talk to anyone. It would just be like a normal day of me just sitting in my office doing work. I'm glad you're enjoying it. No, it means a lot. I would like to do some more streams eventually. It is just a time issue at the moment. Let's have a play with the foreground, right? What can we do here? We've got some, we've got a flat color. All right, we want to add a bit of perspective in here, which would be nice. I've got hue shifts on, so like every stroke that I do is going to be a little bit different. But I really do want to make sure that it goes in that direction of the perspective of where we're looking, or at least like where the perspective of the road is, right? Just a little bit. Gives it a little bit of life. Shasharon. Hi Ben, can I ask you about how you determine the value of color? I've been struggling with it, so would have been great to know your thought. The value of color. Well, first it's the value of value is what I'm really focused on. Where are the lights and where are the darks, and how do they interplay with one another? And then the color is really a secondary thought. Let's add some smoothing. I recommend anyone on a Mac grab this little tool. It's called Stylized. You can pay for it to get all the fancy bells and whistles. I don't need any of that. I literally just use this, and it's a much nicer stabilization tool than sort of what's built in, and it works for everything. It's not just built into to Photoshop, which is nice. See, so I can like drag it pretty precisely, particularly if I've had a little bit too much coffee. It does help a lot there. I want to make my own and call it like decaf. Told my partner yesterday that I signed up for your workshop in Australia time. Should have seen. Oh no. If only we could just all be awake at the same time. But the thing is as well, if you do have to miss a live session because sleep is important, they're all recorded and you do get the critique anyway. So worst case, if there is a week where you can't, you still have that as well. All right, now we're getting that feeling of light, slowly but surely. Also, any of you Californians, what should I explore when I'm over there? Is there anything that you'd recommend? I would like to go and see the tar pits. Are you excited, Ben, for your critiquing class? I am. I mentioned before, I'm actually quite nervous. In like a good way. Best part is summer, so no school. Nice, so we'll be there. COC, as Spanish say. COC, what does that mean? I will be there. Oh, I've told you what to explore. The Huntington in Pasadena tar pits are far away from Pasadena Dam. And what was that coffee place you said? But then again, it's like Australian, so I don't really care. Like, I can get that here. The Getty Museum is amazing, and the Getty Villa is on the ocean. Might have to take a trip there. I do love a good museum. It's like yes or yes, literally, but it's usually used to say that there is no other option but yes. Makes sense. I like it. Yes or yes. Let's rotate this so we can hit the angle that we want. Just boom. And then we got this little Fresnel. Oh, it's not. I guess it's Fresnel. Little little smidge there on the top, because all that light is reflecting and bouncing back to us. Are you staying near the Lightbox? Will you have a car or no? Yes, I will be staying near Lightbox, and Rembert will have a car. What's the public transport like? Would you recommend or no? I've heard mixed things. To be honest, it's 5 a.m. here, and I'm willing to lose sleep to watch rectangles turn into masterpiece. I appreciate, yeah. Wish we had a better time zone art treaty. Well, what I might do when I start cranking more streams is do different time zones, because I think I can wrangle doing both in like the American time zone, and it'll be evening for me, but it will be a little bit better for like more of the European time zones as well. Ah, we have a bin here. Actually, we also got pigeons. Let's not forget the pigeons. We could get really like impressionistic with them. Just a bunch of little triangles. And what's going to make them look correct is that cast shadow. Kind of ish. You get the idea. I just can't be bothered doing a whole bunch of time on the pigeons. Alright, I think we've got to start getting that little dinosaur in here at some stage. We have the Goya Museum here. Been there multiple times already. Still didn't see enough. He's like this super huge thing here was born here. So there are a lot of his original works. Oh, fantastic. Meaning north of Spain. You could do... Yeah, I'd love to go to Spain. That'd be nice. You could do a public transport. It's not great, but as an Australian man, sure. But you could drive to Tar Pits, and LACMA Museum is across the street. Nice. But Huntington is beautiful and really close to where you'll be. And I said Millie's Cafe is fun. LA vibe breakfast spot. I like it. You could get a pistachio matcha. That sounds absolutely lovely. Pistachio matcha. The only thing with this this Hage thing is if you try and move your canvas around, it does get a little bit glitchy. It goes like blah, 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 blah. Let's whack on a few of the hue shifts here. Let's see. So we'll start off with this. Everything in just like your straight up and down lines. And then we can knock it right the way back. Alright, looks a little bit uniform at the moment, which is fine. We can always come back and cut it all out. These would actually be good little gouache studies as well, if you are so inclined. What am I doing? Whoa, 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 whoa. Control X, Control V, multiply, knock it back. And then we can kind of cut back into them if we want to be more, a little less uniform. We could actually really knock these back quite a lot if we wanted to. Anshan from India. How you doing? Have you been to India? I haven't. I have not been to India. I've been to Japan, America, and New Zealand, but just in the airport. So that's how we can start to get a little bit of that texture going. I see how I can build, like slowly build this up. Let's. What time have we got? No, thank you. Scam call. Give me 2 minutes. Back in 2 minutes. And then we'll start adding that element. Andress Rhythm. How you doing? I'll be back. Airport don't count. Oh, I don't know. The authorities would argue otherwise. Hooah. Okay. Where were we? All right, what did I say I wanted to do? I want to add an element to this. So that would be this little, you can do like a little dinosaur sketch. Do enjoy a good dinosaur. So let's knock it back so we can see what we're doing. Let's get our flat flowy. So he could be coming like looking down. But he's going to block the car up. So maybe it's just a good little exercise. See if you can fit something. In the scene that isn't there. Let's just start him out as a shape. Don't get too detail-y. Once Nat in a train woke up on my way back to where I came from. This is where I need that little bit of the old smoothing. I could be watching the pigeons. I like it. There we go. A little bit of story going on. All right, very bland looking green. We can change that. Quick smart. Could move him over a little bit. You go to Yep, Universal. Actually, I think I don't know if I have I? Universal Studios. Is that where like you go around on the car or like in the little buggy thing and they take you to all like the lots and that kind of thing? There was a reason for the dinosaur Pinterest board. There was. I don't know if I'm gonna love this dinosaur design, but just from like a lighting practice, it's a good bit of fun. Yeah, and they have dinosaurs there. Yep. I think I have. Cat, it does. It does remind me. Yeah, the good dinosaur. That is what I was. As soon as I drew it, I was like, yep. Couldn't even move him. You can get rid of the sketch almost. A little bit higher up. See, this is the thing, right? Once you understand lighting and that kind of stuff, then it's like you've gotten one thing out the way, but then the next thing is, all right, how do you compose it and make it look like it's actually sitting in the scene in a nice way. Like I love showing off like reflected light and that sort of stuff. Yeah, good time. Yeah, yep. Because oftentimes you'd see like Pixar sort of things, and they're like kind of at this level. I think this would be classified as a like a color key or something like that. I have a 9-year-old. We watch everything about dinosaurs and sharks. Ah, beautiful. So we might be looking. This is where we got to add a little bit of dimension to the eyes, right? Because we could just like slap them on to the surface, right? But then it kind of just looks like stickers. So I do want to like understand that center line and how the eyes might sit inside the sockets, even though it's like super kind of cartoony. I like playing with styles as well. I mean, this isn't what I'd usually kind of paint, but it's like, this is fun, you know? Just playing. That's what it's all about. now with this, we've also got to sit this in reality as well. So this is going to have some shadow based on the light direction. I miss the old Pixar. Me too. Me too. I hope they bring it back. That bridge must be insanely strong to hold up a whole dinosaur. What if... it's actually here. So it's like all the way, like it's all the way around the other side like that. That could work. Then we've got to think what's happening outside of the scene as well. So if we're carrying this logic through, this is bright. There's going to be brightness here. So this whole underneath potentially could be. You can just keep going and going and going. How long did it take you to stop drawing construction lines? I still always kind of draw construction lines, but sometimes I just don't need it. It's really dependent on what I'm drawing. I'm not against them by any stretch of the imagination. I really like them oftentimes. It's not like a hard and fast rule for me where it's like, no, I will not do construction lines. I'm fine with construction lines. So he might have some of these real subtle. Whoa, I said subtle. Little sort of shapes here. Probably too much. A little distracting. we want to get really fancy with it, we could like come through and really make these pop. If we wanted to, which I kind of do a little bit. Hamza certainly is. Do you ever venture out into other styles like comic art, Jim Lee style? Sometimes, yeah. Also, are we going to have a little girl or boy in front petting the dino? Maybe a little kitty. I was thinking kitty. I was thinking maybe to keep with the theme. Just like a little pigeon. I've got to make sure it makes sense. No, that's not where the shadow would be. Probably something like that, maybe. So really, like there you go. It's a pigeon. I'm not going to detail the pigeon. We've only got so much time. I appreciate it, Redina. Demanding contrast between dino and pigeon. I know. It is a little... You do lose it. This is where the balance comes in, right? Or the contrast could come from the placement. Whoa. There you go. So now he's actually sitting on his head, which could make more sense. I don't know about sense, but looks more fitting. Then we've got to think about all these other layers of things. So this is going to probably be the blue sky. So we could just render the living crap out of this if we really wanted to. And we move the pigeons over here. Oh, but that moves everything else. Ah, well. Birds are technically dino. True. True. Had to take a baby pigeon in last month. Of course, my daughter found it. It actually ate like a horse and eventually flew off. Nice one. So once you get to a spot where this sort of stuff becomes second nature, it's all just exploring. But you're never done learning. Because this actually here is something like this. Probably, when you start playing around with things like Blender, you realize sometimes the correct, quote unquote, correct thing like this would actually be quite reflective on his eyes because it's so bright. That really throws a lot of things off. So we would take our artistic license to knock that back or just remove it completely, you know? Oh, am I dropping frames? Why am I dropping frames? I am dropping frames. Why am I dropping frames? Live streaming Twitch. Live streaming. Quit this. Quit Discord. Quit that. Quit ScreenFlow. Quit Sketch. Quit that. Need that. Hello? Am I still here? Damn. Oh, because you know what? Test. Testing, testing. Are we back? Hello? Still choppy. I did accidentally record some things with a screen with a shortcut. What is this? 45. Still the same. Alright, Twitch, I'm gonna have to tell you goodbye. You can hear us fine. Okay. This should be better. Theoretically speaking. Technically speaking. Are we any better? I don't think I'm dropping frames now. Better now? Ugh. All good? Cool. Well, I've got to bounce in, let's say, 10 minutes. Let's see what we can do here. I'd like to add a bit of. That reflection. Of the green. It doesn't have to be perfect. We are back. Good. Ugh. It's not a stream without technical difficulties, that's for sure. Alright, we're going to bake it all in. Single layer. Uh-oh. Not what I was after. So this is where we can start playing with the silhouette to really sell what's happening. The twist of the neck coming down, right? Just a simple line. That's literally one color. We could make it a little bit more uniform maybe. What would also happen here is something called Fresnel. Fresnel. I appreciate it, Prashant. Thank you, Lana. And I think we could push this blue, but like subtly, like ultra. Can we try this one? The texture. And then knock it right the way back. Catch you later, Lana. You have a good one. Thank you so much. I'll catch you next week. Katya. Yeah, I mean, it's an illusion. It's not simple. But there's always a process to it, you know? Might have missed it because of the frame drop, but the pigeon on the nose had such nice eye flow with the dinos. I know. We could change that. All I gotta say is that's so incredibly... I appreciate it, Miss Trin Trin. Let's see what we can do with the eye. What does that look like if we were to change the eye direction? Now this is the issue because we've just gone and kind of destroyed our our 3D-ness, but that's fine for now. It's not the end of the world. Nah. Undo. Or maybe there is one sitting here. There's also one on his head. But it's just like sitting on the edge, which could help sell it a little bit more. There you go. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know how he's actually hanging on. Oh, that could make sense. They look less like pigeons and more like, I don't know, nondescript birds. Ah, no worries, Artistic. Thanks for always popping in. It means a lot. I'd like to get a little bit more of that material, a little bit of that specular going, you know. You can overdo it like quite easily with the specular, so but it like really sells it, but then you go too over the top and you're like, whoa, is this thing just wet? Did someone just pour water on him? Here's going to have a little bit of specular as well, potentially. But yeah, look. I reckon we might just leave it there, you know? Bit of fun. Save it. What do we call it? Dino stream. So we could really like flesh this out, really make the car pop a little bit more, texture it all up, you know, but I think all in all, fun little exercise. kind of got out of it what I wanted to. Good opportunity for some playing with color. Appreciate it, Mr. Intune. Appreciate your bullwinkle. Yes, the nose pigeon is back and the dino's gaze make it feel so much more connected. I agree. I agree. All right, guys, I've got to bounce. I'm running late, but I will, first of all, thank you for popping in. It's always an absolute pleasure. Really, really enjoy these streams. Same time every week, every Monday, 10:45 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time. Turns out it's a Sunday around 4 p.m. PST, I think. But yeah, check when this started if you're watching now, if you're not sure, because it's the same time every week. And yeah, really means a lot for you guys popping in. A lot of fun, good bit of practice in, and yeah, I'll let you go. Thanks, guys, and yeah, get some sleep, Katya. All right, guys, I gotta run. I'll catch you in the next one. Toodles.